It's the National Football League on EA Sports. And if it's in the game, it's in the game. It's the New York Jets and the Denver Broncos. And it's coming up next.
In a few months' time, snow will blanket the Great Peaks just to our west, but for now, summer still in full swing at Empower Field in Mile High. Today, we've got a compelling AFC matchup for you, as it'll be the New York Jets taking on the Denver Broncos. Brandon Gaudin here in Denver, joined by Charles Davis. And CD, the Broncos are looking for a turnaround here in 2023. Coming off a 5-win season and a last-place finish in the AFC West, but this doesn't feel like a last-place team.
Or to me, because when you look at them on offense, loaded with skill position players at wide receiver and running back, and then flip it over to the defensive side of the ball, and they can compete with anyone. They make it tough to run your offense.
Well, meanwhile, for the Jets, even putting the quarterback situation aside, this is an exciting time for them right now. Yeah, they were just 7-10 last year, I get that, but they're building a roster that's potentially got some future stars involved.
They certainly are. Remember, going 7-10, they were 7-3 at one point last season, and they finished the year with the offensive and defensive rookies of the year. So you know that this roster is really on the rise.
And off we go from Denver. And he'll take it a yard or so past the 20, call it the 21. Well, the Broncos offense gets set to go to work, and at the helm in his second season wearing orange and blue, Russell Wilson.
And similar to his nickname, Russell Wilson has a dangerous mix of skills, the ability to throw from the pocket and extend plays and throw on the run. Not to mention an absolute winner. Usually has his team in the playoffs competing for Super Bowl opportunities.
Quickly to the air is Wilson. This one swung out to Williams. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be left with a second and about a foot. Here's Wilson. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
You get a sense of what this game plan might be. They think they can take a few home run shots against this defense. They tried it there on the opening drive, but that falls incomplete.
An early test for this defense. Here we go on 3rd and inches. They'll try and run for it. Here's Williams. And he's going to be taken down right at the line. Didn't get it by much, but bottom line got the first down. Avoiding that 3 and out. How vital is that on the first drive?
To me, it's like the first round of a boxing match. It may not mean much right then and there, but you'd rather not lose it, right? So you want to go ahead and get it, kind of establish something early, and hope it can carry through.
They'll throw on first down with Wilson. And just not enough on the throw there, down around his feet and incomplete. He released that awkwardly. It almost looked like a pitcher who gripped his fastball a little too hard and let it go late, and it bounced in front of the plate.
Yeah, one of those fastballs that ends up at 57 feet, not 60 feet, 6 inches. Just a little short with the arm, which is unusual because we saw him in warm-ups. He's got a big, strong arm when he delivers it with confidence.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well. Not the warmest starts throwing the football. He was 1 for 3, now 1 for 4 on the opening drive.
So getting him comfortable is the key. And for him, it might be different than what we think is comfortable. We're probably thinking swing passes, easy check downs. Some guys, they're better off throwing it downfield. That's what really loosens them up.
This one complete to Jerry Jeudy. And he will have the Broncos first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. So for this defense, a tall order ahead trying to defend against Russell Wilson. Charles, your keys for how they might go about keeping him in check?
Well, before we even get to the keys, let's start with the problems he presents, because he feels pressure so well. He's got a great sixth sense, maybe even a seventh and eighth. He knows where the pressure's coming from. He knows how to slide away from it, sometimes run away from it, and then he finds good throwing lanes to deliver downfield. So to me, it's that pressure inside, big, tall guys to make him try and throw over them and make his height work against him.
A solid run here as he'll pick his way down to the 42-yard line. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
That's a very nice game there. Confidence-building run. Love the execution up front, and the way he pressed the hole, absolutely perfect.
So in Jet territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. Now Wilson. Short pass tip, but caught anyway. It'll be a gain of 5. And that'll make it 2nd down.
Well, sure looked pretty coming off of his hand, but sometimes you might have to take a little bit off of it. That one looked a little too hot to handle.
Yeah, but off the tip, hey, they still got the catch, right?
It's amazing, isn't it? Even when it goes wrong, it turns out right.
Out of the gun, here's Wilson. Throw right side is going to be caught by Judy. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. The catch and run there, good for 16 and a first.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Wilson will throw again. And that's off the mark, incomplete.
What will look like a march to the end zone has hit a momentary roadblock with that incompletion. No need to panic. They just got to come up with a high percentage play call and see if they can get their offense back on track.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. Now it's Wilson. And that is incomplete. So 2 third-down conversions on this drive, but not able to get a third, and now they deal with 4th down.
This defense has certainly played well so far in this game, and the coverage has been tight on just about every throw. Forced a few here so far in this game, and now it brings up 4th down.
And his kick is indeed good. And the Broncos, the first to grace the scoreboard. It's 3-zip. No touchdown there, but if that first drive is any indication, looks like they're going to have a pretty good day passing the football.
I would say confidence would have to be pretty high after that first drive, able to throw it almost at will. You're exactly right. They didn't get the touchdown, but 3 points serves as a nice notice about how this offense is going to move.
Following the field goal on is Riley Dixon to kick this one away. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Now the new-look Jets ready to go on offense, and it is the veteran Aaron Rodgers at quarterback.
After years of flirting with the idea, the 4-time MVP finally found his way out of Green Bay this offseason, guiding himself to the Jets. We know he's already a Hall of Fame lock, but this is a chance to add one more crowning achievement to his resume.
Rodgers and the Jets now with a 1st and 10 at their own 26. Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
In any event, it happened pretty quickly. I'm not sure he made the right decision on that one. I think if he had to do over again, he would have found a different target downfield, but he made his decision, and that one's incomplete.
Once again, they'll come up on the 26-yard line, 2nd and 10. Rodgers now to throw. throw's going to be incomplete.
A couple of quick incompletions, and now they're just one more away from getting off the field. They've got options now. Could they dial up a blitz here or just drop everyone into coverage to crowd the throwing lanes?
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Rodgers going to throw. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
Well, certainly as a fan, you get a little bit nervous when you see him make those kind of throws. But they work on that in practice more than we know. And most of them now know their limits and know what they can get away with. And there's a completion right there.
So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory at the 46. Rodgers to throw once more. Oh, wide open, complete. And they move this all the way down to the 9. 36 yards on the play. Now, we know this offense has the potential to strike quickly, and they just bit off 2 huge plays on back-to-back snaps.
So on the other side of the ball, you've got to go Band of Brothers thought process. No one left behind, no pointing fingers, no accusations, because if you don't, those quick strikes we just saw, they become long-lasting.
The chain gang hustling to catch up. Here's 1st and goal from just inside the 10. They'll run with Cook. And he'll get about 4 there as he takes it from the 10 down to the 6.
It's largely been the air attack that's gotten them down here, but now is where you start to lean on that running game. That's a good pickup there on 1st and goal.
The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on 2nd and goal. They'll run for the first time with Michael Carter. And he's going to take it in for a Jets touchdown. Michael Carter, a 6-yard touchdown run. And the Jets have answered that early field goal to take a first-quarter lead. So, partner, was a passing game that drove them down the field, but when they get close, they trust that man in the backfield, and he took them home.
And they trust their offensive line as well, because so many of these units, they specialize in either pass protection or run blocking. This group shows its versatility and gets both done on this drive.
Zerline good with a PAT, and that makes it a 7-3 lead. Now after the touchdown, it's Zerline. He'll kick it away. On the return, Tremont Smith. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. So now the second drive offensively coming up for the Denver Broncos. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them want to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Well, anytime he reads man coverage, I don't think it's going to be the only time he'll try and hit that route to the outside in this game. He'll test the perimeter, but that time, they were up to the challenge.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. To throw is Wilson. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
They have to like what they've done defensively here at the outset of this drive. They forced a couple of incomplete passes, bring up a 3rd and 10. Don't be surprised to bring a little pressure on this snap.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Here's Wilson. Now the pressure comes, and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. C.J. Mosley, the linebacker, making sure his presence is felt.
Even keeping the back in for extra protection on 3rd down, They still couldn't prevent the sack. Now it's 4th and long thanks to a terrific individual effort on defense.
Here's Riley Dixon now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. He'll send this one into the mile-high air, and it's a good one. Fair catch taken just inside the 40-yard line. Back onto the field come the New York Jets for their second drive, and they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around. Rodgers now on first down.
Well, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Now inside the 25.
And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Bronco defense has a touchdown.
Well, Charles, you can just see the frustration on the sideline. Safe to say that's not how they expected this series to go. The ball only went one way, and it was backward into their own end zone, courtesy of the pick six.
And, Brandon, how often do we hear offenses tell us before a game they want to end every series with a kick, right? A punt, a PAT, or a field goal. In case of a defense, they want to end with a punt or a takeaway. And we saw the takeaway right there, and it turned out to be a takeaway that turned into 6 points.
Extra point splits the uprights, and the lead is now 10-7. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air.
Here's Mecole Hardman. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line.
And New York set to take the field.
Now remember, they were just out here a moment ago through the pick six, so we'll see if they can take better care of the football this go-around.
And sometimes, partner, I think it's almost better that you just throw the pick six and you come right back out on the field. You're not over on the sidelines dwelling for it for very long. You're not hearing everyone say, oh, hey, you'll get them next time. Hey, don't worry about it. All that stuff just goes right out the window. You're right back out on the field with a chance to atone.
Now Rodgers to try again after the pick six.
On the throw led him too much that time. It's incomplete.
One thing I have learned, receivers don't mind high throws so much to the sideline, but do that over the middle to them, and not only are the DBs going to throw a little verbal trash their way, when they get back to the huddle, they're going to have a few words to say to their QB, aren't they?
Yeah, hung out to dry a little bit there on the high throw. Luckily fell incomplete. Back to the air on second down. It's Rodgers.
Over the middle and complete to Wilson.
9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be third and less than a yard. They'll run it. Here's Cook.
And good vision there as he's across midfield and down to the 45-yard line. And hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up.
We'll step aside and get a report when we come back to Denver. Following the good run by Cook, here's another 1st and 10. Now a play fake. Rodgers. This one complete to Mecole Hardman. And all the way in. Touchdown, New York.
Mecole Hardman,
45 yards. And the Jets have regained the lead. Zerline now for the PAT. And that makes it 14-10. So that drive, 4 plays. And it ends with a Jet touchdown. Now after the touchdown, it's Zerline. He'll kick it away. Here's Smith to return it. Fielded just outside the goal line. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. Denver's offense ready to go again. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
All right, help me out here a little bit, partner, because what I'm seeing is a passing game that's just struggled to complete anything. No rhythm, no timing. Seems like every pass is also contested well, so give some credit to the defense.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Now a give up the middle to Williams. And not much doing there, maybe a yard up to the 23.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first. On 3rd down, Wilson. He'll be taken down. The Jets get in there for the sack. The former 3rd overall pick, Quinnen Williams, there to bring him down. But found his way into the backfield, and he simply would not be denied.
Well, they say that life's all about opportunities, and that holds true when you're playing defense as well. How about him seeing that chance, making the most of it, did a great job of wrapping him up and bringing him down.
4th down, so on is the punter, Riley Dixon. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And the Jets will take over 1st and 10.
Let's focus in on what we got to do here.
Here's Rodgers. And that, incomplete. Daylight in front if he could have held on, but he didn't. So instead, it's 2nd down.
Yes, sir. How about an attaboy there on 1st down? Got his hand in and knocked it away.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. From the gun, it's Rodgers. And able to find Allen Lazard. 5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5. Throwing is Rodgers. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a Jets 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Normally on 3rd down and short yardage, you're thinking to throw to your tight end. It's just going to be a simple chain mover. But this time they let him roam down the field, and a nice dart picks up the 1st down and then some.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. First down, here's the run with Cook. Oh, good move. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. 11 more yards that go around, a 1st down as well. They had 3 tight ends in on that set, and they were really good at blocking for their running back.
And give them a lot of credit because in football nowadays, tight ends coming out of college often don't block very often. These guys have really developed into superior blockers, and that's why they use them in this formation so often.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
That's what you're going to need to do against those big receivers. You got to get in there and get physical with them. That time he got in close, got in tight, and knocked the ball away.
So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28. Throwing now is Rodgers. And his throw here is incomplete.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
Here comes the 7th play now of this drive as this is 3rd and 10. To throw is Rodgers. And incomplete on the deep ball. Good work by that Bronco defense, and it leads to a 4th down.
I think it's safe to say that he's made some questionable decisions out there so far. Forced some throws into tight coverage. He's already been picked off in this game. 4th down now, but he was fortunate on that one, not to have another turnover on his ledger.
Zerline's kick is up and through, and that moves him up by a touchdown now at 17-10. So a nice kick there as they are able to add on to their lead.
And that's exactly what you're looking to do. Maneuver yourself into range. That way, if your drive stalls out, you're able to get something out of it. And they do so right there.
After the made field goal, Zerline back out there now to send this one away. This fielded right at the goal line. And good coverage there on special teams as they'll get him down shy of the 20. And Denver getting set to take the field. Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone. So 1st and 10 here for Wilson and the Broncos at their own 19-yard line. Now it's Wilson. And this will be incomplete.
And that's the knowledge you gain from being in this league for a long time. He's learned the hard way when to give up and fight another down. And that's a smart move to throw it away.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. They go play action now. Wilson under a heavy rush, and down he goes. C.J. Mosley, now 2 sacks for him already here in this first quarter of play. And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed this first quarter.
Man, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game. I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center. It's 3rd and long now for Wilson and the Broncos after that sack. Back to throw. Wilson. And this is going to be incomplete. So after 3 drives and 3 touchdowns combined between these two clubs, finally we get a defensive stop.
Yes, and welcome to the party, defensive players. And glad to have you because for a while there, it almost felt like it was 11 going downfield on air. Okay, so to be able to have someone come up, make a stop, now we got a football game going.
Dixon, the punter, is on as he sends it away. And New York set to take the field. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
Throwing on first down is Rodgers. Catch is made by Hardman. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 15 yards is the pickup there, and the drive starting very nicely. First down.
Certainly no settling into the drive there. They came right out on the first play and attacked the middle of the field for a big gainer and a first down.
Rodgers now on first down. Locates Hardman for another catch. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down.
Well, he's been a busy man in this first half. They've targeted him quite a bit, including both plays here to start this drive. And until that defense starts reacting a little better, they may just keep going back to him.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Cook up the gut. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. 48 yards rushing for him now, and he's only carried the ball 4 times. Now, they're making a real first-quarter statement with a run game, no doubt.
For those who remember old-school football, running it, establishing things, seeing backs find holes, get through them, they've got to like what they're seeing from this unit so far. Right now, they've decided to, as you've said, establish the run game, and they've been successful doing it.
And a really good show of force there as he gets through for 4 tough yards.
That's good power football on first and goal. A lot of teams will throw from there, but that's a nice job to chew up a few more yards and get yourself closer to the goal line.
2 of their 3 red zone trips so far they've come up empty on. They'll look to reverse that trend on second and goal. Now Rodgers. Got him in, it's caught. Touchdown, Jets. 2 touchdown passes now here in this first quarter for Aaron Rodgers. And the Jets have taken a 2-touchdown lead now. They went empty backfield, all their weapons out wide, so there really was no secret here to what they were going to do.
No secret, but they still had to execute it, and they still had to protect the guy throwing the ball because oftentimes when you empty the backfield, people bring pressure at you. They managed to hold in there and successfully complete the touchdown pass.
Zuerlein connects on the extra point, and the lead now up to 14. Now after the touchdown, it's Zuerlein. He'll kick it away. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
On first and 10, it's Wilson. Pass complete to Judy on the out route. And he almost gets this to the 30, taken down about a yard shy. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down.
And now at this point in the first half, you've got to realize as an offense, you're not going to get it all back in one fell swoop. This is going to be about sustained drives and making sure you finish with points. And that's a good throw there for a first down.
Now a first down carry, it's Williams. Well, he gave one defender the slip, but others waiting in the wings and dropping him behind the line. An entertaining start to this one. More to come on EA Sports. Second quarter about to begin from Denver. It's the Broncos in possession of the football as they've got it second down and 11. Now Wilson. And he's going to drop this off to Williams. Complete. A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get it out to your running back, and it could turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
From the gun on third down, Wilson. Finding Williams once more, complete. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. And a stoppage here. We're going to need to take a moment as a Jet was shaken up on that one. We'll step aside and get a report when we come back to Denver.
Let's go now, let's go. Hey, there's no way we're going down. We gotta make sure.
Riley Dixon now to punt it away. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. Hardman on the return. And that'll be a return of 12 following a very nice punt. And the Jets will take over. And you see Dalvin Cook and the offense heading back out. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the second quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here. On 1st and 10, here's Rodgers. And his throw is incomplete.
As tight ends go, he might not provide the super flashy plays very often, but he's pretty reliable, usually an excellent target, and normally catches what's thrown to him, but he didn't on that play.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Now it's Rodgers. And that one too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete.
Well, they approached this drive with a lot of confidence after their last one ended up as a touchdown. But incompletions on their first 2 throws has them huddling up and trying to figure out a big play here on 3rd down to get their momentum going again.
The Jets on 3rd down. They've been good. 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. He's got his target. That's complete. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. First time these two have hooked up this afternoon, and it's a 1st down.
Well, things are definitely going right for them here in the first half. Pick a down, any down, even 3rd down, no problem. They get a connection there and pick up a fresh set of downs, continuing to move the ball.
On play action, Rodgers. Oh, and that is incomplete. Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw.
Well, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say?
Great defense.
Darn right. They did something to disrupt that timing.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. Rodgers going to throw. He couldn't get that one to his man. Short of him, it's low and incomplete.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Now Rodgers. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And this is going to be another 1st down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos 33. Nice 3rd down conversion and even 20 yards. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
That's some strong running there as he's down just shy of the 20 on the edge of the red zone. 64 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this first half.
I'm not sure how much more evidence they need, partner, than to understand that if they don't start to slow him down, it's going to be a long afternoon here at the stadium because he is just shredding them at this point. And let's face it, coming into the game, they knew he would be the focal point of their attack. This is going to take an 11-man unit on the defensive side to start making plays.
Now a 2nd and 2. Here's Rodgers to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And the Jets are going to have a 1st and goal as the tackle is made at about the 5.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then of course they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play. And that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
And he'll get blown up behind the line of scrimmage, back at the 6. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
And that's what I'd like to see out of this defense, a little fire, a little toughness. It hasn't been the best first half for them, but they did do a nice job there, forcing a loss on that play.
2nd and goal from the 6 this time. They'll try the middle with Cook. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Call it no gain that time, and now it's 3rd and goal. Defensively, I think they can smell a stop. Ball right around the 5 here, brings up 3rd.
And I think what they've done is they put doubt in the minds of the offensive guys. What do we do? Because now you don't have a go-to play. Either side they pick, throwing it, running it, it won't be easy.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
Great defense there on 3rd and goal. They took away everything. Forced him to fire that one to the sideline where no one could get it.
So Rodgers will depart, and on is Greg Zuerlein for the Jets field goal. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. Zuerlein's kick is up and through, and that will extend their lead even further. So 3 points there, and they continue to build this first half lead.
Yeah, every little bit helps, and the more that you can put together drives and start controlling the tempo, controlling possession, finishing with points, the better off you're going to be.
After the made field goal, Zuerlein back out there now to send this one away. From his end zone, here's Tremon Smith. And they'll get him down right at the 25-yard line, so the same result had he opted for the touchback. Denver's offense now set to go. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. They may want to go back to that one. First play of the drive, good for 15 and a first down.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and churn his legs for a really nice pickup.
So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. On the counter, here's Williams. And slow going there as he'll only get a yard, maybe, up to the 41.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
And he takes it past the 45 and down at the 46.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. He's got Hamler on the out route. And oh, he's just going to be short here, barely. Maybe by a half a foot. It'll be 4th and inches.
Receivers love having the reputation of being go-to guys on 3rd down, and he was fighting like he really wanted to have that reputation, didn't he? I mean, he came very close to making that a 1st down.
Broke the 1 tackle, but couldn't spring himself free. And he'll get off a fairly short kick here as this is toward the sideline. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. And you see Dalvin Cook and the offense heading back out. He's been good. His guys are winning. So far, the recipe working here in the 2nd quarter.
And he doesn't like to just tote the rock. He wants to carry his team on his back, and that's what he's done throughout this game.
Yeah, he's done that. He'll be hoping to continue that trend. Rodgers and the Jets now with a 1st and 10 at their own 22. He'll start by handing it off to Dalvin Cook. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. No gain on the play there. 2nd down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10. Here's Rodgers. And this throw a bit late as he couldn't reach back for it. The offense on 3rd down, they've been very good, 5 for 7 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Shotgun now for Rodgers. That is caught, and they work this well upfield across the 45. Call that a very strong gain of 24.
With the kind of game he's had so far, you had to know that on 3rd down that they would be looking his way, and they did for big yardage and a 1st down. I think the defense fell asleep at the switch on that one. I would have doubled him, tripled him, anything to keep the ball out of his hands.
On play action, now Rodgers. That's complete to Lazard.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
From just shy of midfield, here's a 2nd and 8. Rodgers now to throw. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete.
One of the best routes, one of the favorite routes of any play caller. He just ran that one. Nice little angle route. That's supposed to be a catch, and usually it is, and the running back dropped it.
Yeah, I mean, he's a running back, but he's got hands. He should have caught it. So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
That might be the 3rd down stop that they needed because they've had a lot of trouble slowing down this offense in the 1st half. This might be their opportunity to get off the field.
Here's the Jets punter now as he's on to punt for the 1st time this afternoon. This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. And no return possible here as they angle this one out of bounds. The Broncos about set to go on offense. The defense got the better of them last series, forcing a punt. See if they make a few changes in the game plan here and try to get points out of this drive. 1st and 10. Wilson and the Broncos now with a 1st and 10 at their own 27. Throwing to start the drive. Wilson Dancing to his left. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. He'll wind up getting 9 after tucking it and running, so it'll leave him with 2nd and a yard.
Certainly not the way they drew it up in the playbook, but that's why they love this guy back there. He sees things breaking down, and he's more than capable of finding an escape route and still getting a decent gain.
They go play action with Wilson. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They've given him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
On 3rd down, here's Williams.
And some good acceleration there as he's across midfield to the 48-yard line. 50 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
So in Jet territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Play action. Now Wilson. And this one is incomplete. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Up the middle, it's Williams.
And good space to operate there as he takes this down inside the 35-yard line.
Give him 14 yards there and a Denver 1st down.
Well, if they continue to run the football this strong, right up the middle, I don't know if they can wait till halftime to make adjustments. They better find a way to get it done series to series. I don't know if they need to sub some guys out, bring in extra people, maybe change what they're doing on the defensive side of the ball. But right now, they're running the ball very well right at them and right up the middle.
And he'll be out of bounds about a half to a full yard shy of the 5. That's good for 28 yards.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half, but I like their countenance. I like the way that they haven't panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
Let's do this, man.
1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. They'll bring the tight end in motion right. They'll try and run. This is Williams. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score.
Javonte Williams.
A 6-yard touchdown run.
And the Broncos get a bit closer.
A strong, determined run there, Charles, to get in for 6 points.
This is why it's such a team game, isn't it? And I know that sounds really generic and it sounds almost trite, but the blocks were made up front, offensive line, collective victory at the line of scrimmage and downfield. And how about the finish to the run all the way into the end zone?
Extra point right down the middle. And the lead is trimmed down to 10. Now after the touchdown, ready to boot it away, Riley Dixon.
Taken at the goal line. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards.
The New York set to take the field.
No points last time out. They were forced to punt, if you remember, but no time to dwell on that. They've still got the lead here and a chance to add to that here. 1st and 10 as this new drive starts. Rodgers and the Jets now with a 1st and 10
at their own 21. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Open man here is Conklin. And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. He was unable to shake free there, and they'll cover him for a loss of a yard.
In today's NFL, we're accustomed to the tight end getting downfield and creating plays and wreaking a little havoc in the secondary. Not on this one, though. They diagnosed that one really well.
Tried the dump off, lost yardage. Working from the gun, Rodgers. Got a man, that's Lazard. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Rodgers. Throwing quickly to Wilson. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. That one good for 20 on the catch and run.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing, but as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
And not a common sight, at least on this drive. A momentary setback, though, for this passing game that has been moving well this series. Good thing for them, though. Still 2 more downs to connect and try and pick up another 1st down.
So 2nd down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43. To throw, it's Rodgers. Looking deep downfield. And too much juice. It'll be out of bounds, incomplete.
They decided the opportunity was there and launched a deep ball, but he was unable to get away from the defender. Couldn't create space, couldn't uncover at the end of the route, and that one winds up incomplete.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. To throw is Rodgers. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. What can't Aaron Rodgers do? The legwork there getting him to 1st.
With nowhere to throw it, decided to scramble, and a nice job, CD. Got the yardage that he needed.
Yeah, and his teammates are certainly going to appreciate that effort, even if his coaches don't, because they would have wanted him to slide and protect himself. But he chose team gain over personal protection.
Rodgers' throw here going to be caught by Wilson. The Jets are going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the 1st half. Now a 2nd and 6. Throwing now is Rodgers. Going right back to Wilson. And he will have a 1st down here as they get into field goal range as well, down at the 17-yard line. Now the Jets going to use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the 1st half of play. So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. Throwing is Rodgers. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down.
Normally being a big-bodied receiver plays to their advantage downfield. Go up and make the catch, take the hit, and pick up yardage. But in this case, the hit was timed really well and popped it free from his grasp.
Rodgers to throw on 2nd down. Throwing for the out route, he finds Wilson. And the Jets are going to have a 1st and goal coming up as the tackle made at the 3-yard line.
I can't help but chuckle a little bit because at this point, it can't be a surprise to anyone in the building who's going to get the ball. They just keep feeding him over and over, and he just keeps on delivering.
And offensively, they'll take the timeout with 6 seconds left in the 2nd quarter. So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. From the left hash, he'll have to cut this at a tight angle. Zuerlein's kick is up and through, and that will extend their lead even further. So he's been a busy man here in this first half. That's 3 field goals for him now.
And not just 3 field goals, but 3 for 3. So even though the offense has struggled a bit putting it in the end zone, they've still been able to come away with points due to his leg.
Four seconds, all that remain here this first half as the kick gets away. So we've reached halftime with the visiting Jets on top. As we send you on out to our studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, back to you two in just a bit. But first, welcome everyone to downtown Orlando and our EA Sports Halftime Report. We were treated to a strong first half from the new Jet, Aaron Rodgers. He's over 300 yards passing already as he's looking to possibly put his name in the record book.
All right, Coach, thanks very much. Fine work as always as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. And the Jets set to receive this third quarter kickoff, and they have the lead as well as we are underway in the second half. This taken in at the goal line. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. Now the Jets going to take over on offense to begin this third quarter. But Charles, for them, pretty good first half on the ground. They had some success running the ball in quarters 1 and 2, and they've got the lead. Now a chance to expand upon that lead here with their first drive in the third quarter.
Yeah, and believe it or not, you and I have noticed that this great game of football has shifted towards pass first, run second. So for me, it's really nice to see some of these teams keeping the ground game as a big component of their offense, and it's working pretty well for them now. And let's face it, they can continue to do damage with it. And in addition, it sets up the pass game really well for them too.
And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39.
This offensive game plan has just been sensational. I mean, when you think about all the different ways they've gotten their receivers open so far, it's really been impressive. Scheme, design, execution.
On first down, Rodgers. And he'll let this go deep for Lazard. And this is caught. Big yardage that time for the Jets. 58 yards.
Boy, this has just been an offensive clinic. It's seemingly been one big play after another, and add this one on to the list. When you can bite off more than half the field on one play, things are definitely working in your favor.
After the big play, a chance to finish now on first and goal. They'll run with Hall. And the D not yielding much there. He's only going to get a yard to about the 2.
And now defensively, you have to look at this like the game's on the line. It's just the third quarter, but another touchdown given up here could really spell an end to their chances. So they need to toughen up and keep them out of the end zone.
From the 2 now, second and goal. Hall again. And he's in. Touchdown, Jets. Breece Hall taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Jets take the opening kickoff of the third quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. Well, that was a quick drive. The passing game set it up, and then the running game finishes it off.
And how about how few plays it was to get it done, but they threw it downfield and then pounded it into the end zone. And as a former defender, I can tell you, it hurts just a little bit more when they run it into the end zone instead of throwing it.
He hits the big target for the two-point try. Defenses hate those guys, especially around the goal line.
It's hard to decide who you're going to put on him. Are you going to put a smaller corner on him? Are you going to put a safety who doesn't have maybe the same coverage skills? How about a linebacker? He may have the size, but he's not used to really covering in space. That's why the tight end gives you such a great advantage when you're throwing the football.
Now after the touchdown, it's Zerline. He'll kick it away. This fielded right at the goal line. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. So now a look at the Broncos as they head back out there for their first possession of the second half.
That's what I'm talking about. Let's roll. I know you. Let's go. Let's go. It's showtime.
So 1st and 10 here for Wilson and the Broncos at their own 22. Wilson. Short throw caught by Dulcich. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play, and it's 2nd down.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days, but you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
Throwing again on 2nd down, but this time it's incomplete.
Well, this at least is the right idea. I think they've got to get the tight end more involved.
He had just 1 target in the first half, incomplete. Now incomplete here with the first target of the second half.
Yeah, should not stop them at all from going back to him, though. Find him. Find him.
To throw is Wilson. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he will have a Broncos first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Well, we talk all the time about playing situational football, and right now I think the scoreboard is dictating what they need to do. Where they are in this game, they've got to push the ball downfield, take their shots, try and get big chunks of yardage in a short amount of time. That was a nice play there.
Throwing again here, Wilson. He'll drop this down to Williams, and they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
On 2nd down, Williams. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down.
But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Here's Wilson. And that is incomplete.
1 first down here, and that's all, folks. Good work by this defense to hold things in check and force a punting situation.
Here's Riley Dixon now, as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. And this is a beauty as that ball's going to angle out at the 6-yard line. Alan Lazard and the Jets set to go back on offense. Good day for him so far here in the 3rd quarter. He's hit pay dirt once, over 100 yards, but hey, it's the 3rd quarter. He's thinking, I want more, right?
He wants more, and it just increases the confidence of his team because every play he makes, that means his quarterback is really feeling good about throwing the football. Probably feels like he can't throw an incomplete pass when he throws it to him right now.
Yeah, he's looked really, really sharp. Now Carter to start the drive. And he'll go down for a loss inside his own 5 at the 4. A loss of 2 there, second down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Now Rodgers throwing on second down. A short throw to Conklin, the tight end. So 8 yards on the completion there, and now we've got a 3rd and 4.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on second down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
A nickel set defensively for the Broncos here on 3rd down. Here's Rodgers. They'll set up the screen for Hall. And he is going to have a Jets first down. He needed 5. He got it barely, as it will officially go down as a gain of 5 yards.
Caught that look from you there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch. I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
On 1st and 10, here's Rodgers. There's Hall bringing in another one. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 30. 12 more yards for him there. It's a first down.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the 3rd quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
Again, they'll throw with Rodgers. He's got to hook up to Lazard. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them, and these guys have been taking advantage so far.
In motion left, Hardman. Well, they'll run it here on the jet sweep. And nowhere really to go there. He'll take this up just shy of midfield. Randy Gregory, former Cowboy, there on the tackle.
They're in a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves, start to try and pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now. Now it's Rodgers. Oh, he dropped it. They were looking for him in the middle 3rd. He couldn't catch it. Now 3rd down.
On any passes in the middle of the field, anyone who's going after the football is going to be conscious that it's probably going to be contested, and often physically. Sometimes that leads to drops.
Now play number 8 on this drive, and they need 9 yards to pick up the first on 3rd. Rodgers now to throw. And that went to the right side and incomplete.
Yeah, that's a nice job there defensively to blanket those receivers on 3rd down. And as a quarterback, all you can do is just loft one toward the bench, not too close, mind you, and live to punt the football.
Here's the Jets punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. Yeah, yikes. Terrible kick, headed straight for the sidelines. And the punt over the side in the air, and the spot will be inside the 35. So the Broncos coming out now. The last series for them, a little disappointing, forced to punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive, 1st and 10. Wilson and the Broncos now with a 1st and 10 at about the 32. Throwing to start the drive. Wilson. Screen play set up for Williams. 7 yards there on the first down screen play.
And a really nice play call there to start the drive, especially if you're a team that has a little bit of a reputation for throwing it downfield. You come out and you think maybe you can catch them off guard a little bit, and they did. Little screen pass, backdoored them, and that time worked well for a solid gain.
Here's Wilson to throw. And he drops it incomplete, and their struggles continue here.
And that's one of those plays where it's hard to keep 2 eyes on the football when you know the contact's coming. let alone getting two hands around it, hugging it to your body, and absorbing the hit, even for those big tight ends who you would think could absorb that contact.
Wilson now to throw on third down. And that will be incomplete.
Well, how about the coverage we just saw him break out on third down? Dime defense, blanketed the field with extra defensive backs and speed, unable to find an open hole to complete that pass.
Here's Riley Dixon now as he's on to punt for Denver. And a fair catch signaled for and taken at about the 18-yard line. It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
Rodgers now on first down. He'll be dropped at the 25 after a gain of 6.
That's tough to play zone defense when they can just curl up right there in front of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we talk about finding the soft spot. Defensively, how do you make sure they don't find the soft spot like they did there?
Tough to do, because what they normally will do is run routes that'll pull you out of that spot that they want to get into. That's what we call not taking the cheese, right? Don't go for the mousetrap. But it's hard to do because when you see a guy cutting that in that direction, you tend to go towards him.
He has a first down, and that catch will also put him over 100 yards receiving now on the afternoon.
With that last completion, CD's now over 400 yards passing in the game, and quite a few of those have come via some pretty big strikes downfield. Certainly not afraid to challenge this secondary, and it's been successful.
I like your observation there, partner, because I agree. This is a group more than capable of torching a secondary any week, as evidenced by their combined stat line here. And in the time we have remaining, wouldn't shock me at all to see them take another deep shot.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10.
On 2nd down, a run with Hall.
And he's got some space here. And he's taken down, but not before he gets to the Broncos' 10-yard line.
57 yards rushing for him now on just his first 3 carries.
Terrific run from one of the fastest backs in the game today, a guy who keeps defensive coordinators up at night, no doubt.
Remember when we were meeting with the D coordinator before the game and all he talked about was run fits, making sure our guys were in the right place so there were no creases?
They missed their fits, didn't they?
Yeah, there was no fit there. The only fit was at the end when he threw his headset down after that big run.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material.
Now a play fake. Rodgers. And this is going to be intercepted.
Picked off by Pat Surtain. And the Broncos are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20. Well, still down quite a bit here, several scores, but yeah, at least that's a start, Charles, getting the interception here. And look, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so this thing not done yet.
You're right about that, Brandon. This defense, they haven't quit on this game. They stayed with it and got an interception and handed the ball back to their offense. And what you wonder about is the team that just threw that interception, they've got to be careful about developing a sense of complacency and thinking this game is over.
We got to be big time now. Make plays, y'all. Make plays. Let's go. Leave it all out here. Leave it all out here.
So 1st and 10 here for Wilson and the Broncos.
At the 20. After the interception, here's Wilson.
And that throw behind his man. He missed him. Incomplete.
Let's face it, if you want to get back into the game, these are the kind of throws you got to hit. He's wide open right there. Got to be able to get it to him, don't you think?
And those are the throws that haven't been available to them every time he's dropped a pass. Yeah, that's a big miss.
2nd and 10 now. 3rd quarter action in Denver.
Now Wilson.
Open man is the tight end Troutman.
9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
He's not going to get there. That won't even be close. It was blown up in the backfield. A 3-yard loss. 4th down now.
Just a simple run play there on 3rd and 1, but this D was up to the challenge and stopped them, bringing up 4th down.
Here's Riley Dixon now as he's on to punt for Denver. Fair catch signaled for and taken just shy of the 30-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over.
Now this offense and Garrett Wilson headed back out.
And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this, but it's usually not by himself, is it?
Right.
Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Well, partner, I think the defensive fellas got the memo, and they decided to cover him on that play.
Yeah, he's already up over 100 yards in this game. They tried a deep shot, couldn't get it.
Yeah, when you've had that much success, finally someone said, let's try and put a stop to it and put people on him.
Now Rodgers.
This pass out wide to Hall.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That's good for a Jet first down, a gain of 13.
Charles, he's now over 400 yards passing in this one. It feels like he has a zillion completions. Just a very memorable effort from a guy that we thought could be in line for a big game, and he has exceeded our expectations.
That he has, and I'm not really surprised at all because when you look at this offensive unit, they are loaded across the board. And, of course, the guy throwing them, he's a big-time player himself. They brought it from start to finish and really helped get the better of the opposing secondary. Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
They fake the give. Now Rodgers.
He finds Wilson.
And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. An excellent gain, 35 yards.
Everything's been going right here in this one. This offense, they've been in complete control from the outset. And here's another big play. These kind of routes have been open all game long, and they continue to take advantage.
So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. A 10th carry in the game for Cook. Then he'll be taken down near the 20 at the 21. On the stop that time, it was Josie Jewell.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
On play action, now Rodgers. Open man here is Conklin. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch. And now it's 3rd and 4.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there, freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we've played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Here's the 7th play of this drive. This is 3rd and 4.
3rd down, here's a run by Cook.
And he's going to take it in for a Jets touchdown.
Dalvin Cook
from 17 yards out. And the Jets have opened up a 4-touchdown lead here in the fourth.
We see this a lot on third and short yardage, especially down here in the red zone. They're going to sell out to stop the run, try and hold them to a field goal. But once the running back gets past the first wave, the resistance can evaporate after that. And he not only picks up the first, but he takes it all the way into the end zone.
Zerline good with a PAT, and that'll increase their lead to 28. Now after the touchdown, it's Zerline. He'll kick it away. Here's Smith to return it. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. And coming out now, the Broncos. Wilson and the Broncos now with a 1st and 10 at their own 26. Throwing to start the drive. Wilson. A short one to the tight end, Troutman. And he's able to get this one up to his 30 before he's out of bounds. The result, only 4 yards there on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
Now Wilson on 2nd down. His throw incomplete. Another pass attempt, another incompletion, and they're just a little over 100 yards passing here in this game, so defensively, pretty good job.
Definitely, because they were never really able to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, so a lot of credit to the defensive game plan and especially the execution.
On 3rd down, Wilson. Ball had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
That is certainly one way to frustrate a quarterback. Run those extra defenders on the field. Dime package, lots of speed, no space to fit in the football.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. They'll try and throw for it with Wilson. They're going for Hamler, but this is intercepted. Adrian Amos with a pick, and he's going to take this one back to the 37-yard line. Well, I guess an interception at this point on 4th down is just as bad as an incomplete pass. Either way, the ball goes over to the other side.
Yeah, it's a tough spot to be in this late in the game, and there's not a whole lot he could do there, and he winds up giving the ball away.
Now the Jet offense about to take over as they head out onto the field. And after the interception, they are sitting in an even better spot with the ball and a comfortable 4th quarter lead. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Up the middle, it's Cook. And maybe a little over pursuit there as he's able to take this down to the 25-yard line. Give him 12 yards there, and the Jets have a 1st. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score. Partner, I have to tell you, just one word keeps coming to mind from watching them this afternoon, and that's impressive. They have been impressive from the opening kickoff, and they haven't let up here even into the 4th quarter.
Throwing now is Rodgers. That's caught left side, Ruckert with it. And from the 9, they get this to the 5-yard line. Well, that tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point that continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
Now they'll bring one of their tight ends in motion right. Rodgers to throw on second down. And that one incomplete, but now a penalty flag coming in late. That might be PI. And since the penalty occurred in the end zone, move the ball to the 1-yard line.
First and goal from the 1-yard line. Costly penalty.
So the ball's moved to about the 1 after the penalty. First and goal. Rodgers going to throw. And that one off the mark behind him. Incomplete. The CD, they're up big, but they're still passing it. I mean, this is an offense that's had a lot of success in this game, and it seems like they're just having fun out there.
And it does feel like there's been a shift out there, doesn't it, partner? Listen, if you're up, you can continue to do what you want to do. It's up to the other team to make you change how you do things. They'll continue to throw it around until stopped.
Now a second down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete. Well, they're up comfortably here, Charles, but that lead certainly not dissuading them from pressing the envelope late. I mean, if anything, with these passes, it's like they're getting more aggressive to try to drive the ball downfield.
And that will certainly lend itself to some post-game questions for that coach, and maybe you and I should attend that press conference and see what he has to say, because someone's going to ask him why he continued to push it. My guess, he didn't like how some of the snaps were run earlier, and he wanted to use that as a chance to clean things up, but he certainly will have some explaining to do.
How about the defensive stand here from first and goal, 3 straight incompletion?
Yeah, I think people are wondering why didn't they try and run it at least once in there, but once the first incompletion happened, it's almost like they were committed to throwing the ball from then on out.
Zuerlein's kick is up and through, and that will extend their lead even further. Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so, and maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
After the made field goal, Zuerlein back out there now to send this one away. And Smith chooses not to return it, and they'll bring it out to the 25. And Denver getting set to take the field. And we'll see if they can bounce back from that last drive, in particular, if they can bounce back at the quarterback position, Charles, after throwing their first interception of the ball game.
Yeah, and some guys, you know they're going to want to try and get a big play right away and take control back. Others, they're going to want to look to hit a couple shorter passes and get a little momentum back that way.
But for the defense, that goal's not changing a bit. They want another pick.
You're exactly right about that. In fact, you got to watch them a little bit, because in coverage, they may cut down their gaps a little bit, maybe their splits a little bit, in order to try and get to the ball even faster.
Good footwork at the 30. A nice little screen. They get 6 on first down.
And some play callers, when they go into games, they don't mind calling a lot of screens, and they don't care what down. They were maybe 1 block away from really having something there to start this drive. Good job defensively to cut through the blockers and make the tackle on the screen, or that could have gone for maybe 15 or 20 yards.
Now it's Wilson. They'll set up the screen. This is Williams. And he's going to be taken down. Plus, there's a penalty flag in the backfield. They may get 15 more on top of this. Well, that frustration, Charles, it's been building on the defensive side of the ball, and unfortunately there, it turns into a roughing the passer penalty.
Yeah, and they should be frustrated because he's picked them apart the entire game, but it's got to come out in a different way. You can't hit him illegally. Stop him downfield the way you're supposed to.
Meanwhile, the throw here is complete. He's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down. Second down and a yard. Now Wilson. Short throw caught by Dulcich. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
I know exactly what's going to be said about that play from the defensive perspective.
What's that?
That's why I tell all you guys we need more than one tackler to the ball. He broke the first tackle. Luckily enough, there were more people there to get him down.
Wilson will throw again. That one tipped, and it's incomplete. But good hands there defensively. It's second down. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
Here comes Hamler on the jet sweep. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up.
Well, they gave up a few yards there, but all in all, I think it's a pretty nice job defensively against the jet sweep. If they don't slow him up, he might take it to the house, so they'll take that play every time on the defensive side of the ball.
They got to get to the 20 to keep the drive alive on 3rd down. Well, they'll fake the jet sweep, and now off play action, it's Wilson. Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete. Defensively, you look at the numbers. Another incomplete pass that we just saw, and they're under 200 yards passing for the game, so they've done their job on that side of the ball.
Yeah, recently I was actually working a game where a quarterback had a streak of 5 straight games without a 200-yard game, and that was a big talk both in his town and amongst his team. How do we get the passing game going?
Touchdown, Broncos! KJ Hamler. 27 yards. And the Broncos get a small measure of revenge as they cut into this 4th quarter deficit.
As a fan, is there anything prettier than a well-executed post route?
No, it's a thing of beauty, especially when it's done like that for a touchdown.
The throw, the catch, and how about the run after to get it to the end zone?
Point after, right down the middle. And the lead is down to 24. Now after the touchdown, ready to boot it away, Riley Dixon. Taken at the goal line. And he won't quite make it to the 25. The Jets ready to get going again here on offense. Well, the win for them at this point seems pretty assured. I mean, still a decent amount of time left here in the 4th quarter, Charles, but you got the football, you're up 3 scores. They have to be feeling really good about where they're at.
I love your observation skills, partner, because I think you saw them charge onto the field fired up about another chance to get into the end zone. Looks to me like this group is ready to crush any hope left on the opposing sideline, and they want to do it with some gusto, too.
They start the drive with Cook. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a first down.
Well, we're beyond the tone setting right now. This guy's been the bell cow all day, and they'll continue to rely on him to move the chains, drain the clock, and lead his team.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Motion man left is Lazard. Oh, a fake on the jet sweep as they run with Cook up the middle. And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42. Good gain there on first down. It keeps them in a running situation probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front, good blocking, nice hole for him. Ends up picking up nice yardage, stays in bounds to keep the clock rolling. They are in charge of this scenario right now. They want to stay that way.
And not in any rush offensively. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. Hate to be blunt, but it is just continuing to prove to be the case that this O-line is manhandling this D-line right now.
They deserve to roll up their sleeves and show up their biceps because they're doing exactly what you just described, manhandling the defensive front. They've got the leverage, they are powering through, and they're controlling this game.
And a 6-yard gain gets them right around the 43.
They've created a nice sustained drive off of plays like that. A nice strong run there that keeps them advancing the ball.
Line of scrimmage, the 43 on 2nd and 4. Motion man left is Lazard. Now a fake on the jet sweep, and they'll instead run up the middle.
And some good tackling there as he stopped up at about the 41.
That's all about doing the dirty work right there defensively. 2nd and short yardage, that's all about plugging those gaps, not giving a running back a crease to run through, and has a nice job to hold him to just a couple and force a 3rd down.
They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here.
Rodgers looking to throw on 3rd and 2.
Pass taken in by his big tight end.
And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos 30.
Give him 10 yards there as this offense is on a roll. This drive continues to plunge forward.
Tell you what, partner, the way he's been slinging it in this one, I think he should be ticketed for a baseball cap and a set of headphones for the next drive. He's been absolutely sensational. But one thing we've both learned about quarterbacks in this league, they often stay on the field longer than you expect.
Throwing on first down is Rodgers.
He'll dump this off to Cook.
And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. He's already proven to be a factor in the running game on this drive. Now he gets involved in the passing game.
I think what we're seeing here is the modern version of workhorse in the NFL, being able to run it and catch it with equal proficiency.
Another tote for the workhorse this afternoon. It's Cook, and they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line.
They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
Starting to look like this drive, it may be the final nail in the coffin.
Well, this is why you work out so hard, right? This is why you spend all that time in the offseason. This is why you have those OTAs and mini camps for these situations, these scenarios, to run someone into the ground and secure a victory.
Yeah, this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
Didn't get to the sticks, but that's an ideal carry there on first down, isn't it?
I mean, now you're 2nd and 1. Although, you know, in the NFL, even if he picked up the first down, I don't think it's a big difference because the clock doesn't stop.
Yeah, not like college.
Right. If it's college football, you want to 2nd and 1 is probably better than picking up the first down because in college football, the clock stops with every first down and actually aids the defense in that situation.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. Well, 4th quarter with a 3-score lead here, Charles, but they're still going back to the air and looking for more points.
Well, with this game well in hand, it's an opportunity for the guys to come off the bench and get a chance to play. And a lot of coaches, they want to run their full playbook no matter who's on the field.
That is caught, and he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage.
Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
And in a lot of ways, that catch is expected. Red zone presence, and that one was realized there. You've got to find your tight end in that situation.
Rodgers now to throw.
The incompletion there stops the clock. Any surprise they're throwing here late?
Ordinarily, yes, because you would think enough is enough. They've got plenty of lead, but I've seen this a bunch of times as well. The defense is going to crowd the line of scrimmage. If you just hand it off inside, you're getting your running back popped a lot as well. Sometimes the defense dictates it. If they're going to crowd it, you may have no other downfield.
On 2nd down, Cook. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down.
I thought they were onto something with their play call and kind of went in reverse a little bit. Threw it on first down, then ran it on 2nd down. Not successful either way. What play call do they come up with here on this important 3rd down try?
Rodgers now on 3rd and goal. And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown. So still throwing here in the 4th quarter with a pretty sizable lead, and now that lead even more sizable. And if nothing else here, CD, a chance to pile on some stats before this one wraps up, and he did just that.
Brandon, convention tells us it's time for them to get off the gas a little bit, right? But you and I both know the receivers don't want them to because, as you noted, this is their chance to pile on the stats. If they got their way, they try to get every single spot in the depth chart points before this game is over.
Now after the touchdown, it's Zerline. He'll kick it away.
This taken in at the goal line. And he will make it to the 20-yard line and no further. The offense getting set again. We spotlight Javonte Williams, the running back.
And the numbers for him, pretty solid, really. He's run it well. He's caught it pretty well, but they're still far behind the 8 ball on the scoreboard.
Not able to use his talents, as you noted, to narrow the gap in the scoreboard. Sometimes it's a bend but don't break, right? He gets his yardage, that's cool, but it's not paying off on the scoreboard. They're not getting the points necessary. And if you're a defensive team, you'll give up that yardage for the kind of lead they have.
That's what I was going to ask you. Sometimes you say, let this guy do his thing. Let's control what we can control elsewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Take away the rest of the guys. Don't let them hurt you as well. But the biggest one is they've contained him well enough that they've been able to increase their lead.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair.
So it's Bronco football as we get you reset here. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. And the Jets pressure too much as down he goes.
Multiple defenders there to drop him for a loss of 4. And, of course, that's not an easy man to sack. You know how elusive he can be trying to get outside of the pocket. That was a great play on the defensive side.
And I wonder what was going through his mind, because he didn't seem as committed to using his legs to pick up yardage. He wanted to keep that play alive, so either take off and go or throw it away. But he held on to the football and ended up getting sacked.
A couple of veterans, Wilson to Sutton there for the Bronco first.
Well, that certainly has to feel good, and it's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice first down. Drive keeps moving.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
This has been a rough one, to put it mildly, for him. And after this one's done, you just feel like at the post-game press conference, this team's going to have a lot of questions and definitely not a lot of answers.
Now a 2nd and 10.
Here's Wilson to throw.
This pass caught by Hamler.
And that's going to be another 1st down as the tackle made at the Jets' 32-yard line. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
But he's turning in a nice performance. Remember, he had the touchdown earlier, and this time he's able to beat double coverage to grab it.
I think that if he weren't worried about a taunting penalty, he'd run by the opposing team's bench and say, guys, 2 is not going to be enough. You better get some more guys trying to cover me. He knows how to get open downfield.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete.
So it looks like they still have some fight in them on this series, because it seemed like things were headed for the red zone. But if this defense gets 2 more stops, they can keep them out of that area.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from about the 32. They go play action with Wilson. And he will find his man Sutton. That's complete. And he's across for the touchdown. Too little, too late. But he does get in for 6.
No wonder you're grinning. You just beat me in our fantasy league.
Indeed I did, my good man.
And yeah, that touchdown counts for their team, but I think it counts more for the fantasy guys, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just something maybe positive to look at on film, but this one's over, let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one.
Extra point splits the uprights, and the lead is down to 24. Now after the touchdown, ready to boot it away, Riley Dixon.
And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive.
Just all around a solid performance, and now they've got the 3-score lead here, Charles, so the final seconds of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, in this one, they've been in control, haven't they? They've earned this victory. No question who the better team was out there in this game. And frankly, the score could have been a lot worse than it was. Give them a lot of credit for how they played in this one.
Charles, a lot of happy faces heading into the tunnel as this one ends, and understandably so. Not only did they get the win, but boy, their offense was on fire in this ball game.
And partner, I have no idea what the top speed is on one of those high-end sports cars. What's the top gear you can get into? This offense, they certainly were there in this one, huh? Everything clicking for them in this contest, the kind of performance that they're going to cherish.
So that'll do it for my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon, everyone, as we say so long from Denver.